Hello children, we will start chapter 6 of your book, that is changes around us. In our daily life, you must have observed various kind of changes that occurs around you. Few of them are occurrence of day and night. After a fixed interval of time, day and night occurs. The blooming of flowers, the crops get produced, we harvest them. These are changes. My mother cooks the food for us, we eat the food, digest it. These are also included in changes. Our lukewarm milk is converted into curd. That is also a change. You must have seen an iron article that is either of grey color. Slowly and steadily, if we don't paint it, it will be converted into reddish brown color. That is the change which we observe around ourselves, which you can observe very easily. Change in weather. And sometimes in summers, in month of July or June or July, after a sudden, a hot day, there is the rain come. A cloudy day will be appear to us. That is also a change in weather, which we can easily observe around us. The change in the temperature from hour to hour and from day to day, that is also included in change. So these are many changes, and there are many changes which we can observe around us, around our surroundings. So these things are, included in the changes. All the changes which are occurring around us has a cause. For example, the change in weather has a cause. The change in day and night has a cause. Why? The earth keeps on rotating around its own axis, due to which the position with respect to sun changes. And that's how day and night occurs. So every change has a cause. Melting of candle wax has a cause. If the candle wax melts, only then that wax will be converted into wax vapors, and then wax vapors burn to give us light and heat energy. So every change is for a cause. Cooking of food has a cause. Cooking will allows that food to digest easily in our body, as well as cooking makes it a bit tastier for us. It will be easy for us to have that diet, have that vegetable when we cooked it, as compared to the raw one. So these are the changes. These are certain example of the changes which occur in our daily life, which occur around us. And every change has a cause. हर एक change का एक कारण होता है बच्चे. No change occurs without cause. Next thing बच्चे we'll study that what actually happens during a change. एक change के दौरान हो क्या रहा है बच्चे. During a change in shape occurs, change in size occurs, change in internal structure may occur. So these are the actually occurring things during a change. In the rusting of iron, you must have observed there is a change in color. When we add base to a phenolphthalein solution, phenolphthalein is a solution which is colorless. Phenolphthalein. When we add a base to it like soap water, we observe that colorless solution will changes to pink. So that is also a change. So change in color, change in size, change in shape, change in position, change in state. There are total 3 states, physical states, which are these: solid, liquid and gas. You must have observed the water placed in a container in a freezer will be solidified and form ice. That is the change in state. The liquid form of water is converted into solid state. You must have purchased an ice cream, and if you don't lick the ice cream quickly, that ice cream start to melt. That solid ice cream will start to change into liquid form. That is also a change from solid to liquid. You must have seen a person, splashing water in front of his or her house in summers. After some time, that water is evaporated, is removed. That evaporation, that liquid state changes to gaseous form. That is also a change. So these are the things which occur. These are the processes which occur during a change. Next, now we'll start to study the various different kind or categories of the changes. First, on the basis of origin, first on the basis of position of occurrence, the changes are of two types: natural changes and human-made or artificial changes. The first type of changes are natural changes. The changes that occurs in nature and does not have any influence of human organisms, of human beings. Those kind of changes are known as natural changes. So, ऐसे changes बच्चे जो nature में हो रहे हैं और उन पर हमारा कोई control नहीं है. The changes which usually occurs in nature and are beyond the control of a human being, those kind of changes are known as natural changes. For example, change of seasons. Seasons change according to the nature, according to the various wind speed, the temperature conditions, the change in weather. That is also a natural change. Formation of clouds, precipitation of clouds, that is rain, that is also beyond our control. So these are the changes which occurs in nature. Weathering of rocks. In class 7th you will study how soil will be prepared. In that you will study that the large rocks are weathered, are broken down into smaller pieces, and that's how soil is prepared. So that is known as weathering of rocks. That is also beyond our control. Next, formation of glaciers or melting of glaciers. Both of these are beyond our control. Occurrence of day and night. All these are the changes which occurs in nature itself by the natural force, and human beings whatsoever have no control over it. Those kind of changes are known as natural changes. The second kind of changes which in our control, which in our hands, which we can control, we can pace them up or slow them down, those kind of changes are known as human made or artificial changes. The changes which are in total control of human beings, which occurs due to the human activities, which occurs artificially due to human activities, are known as human made or artificial changes. So the changes which occurs due to human efforts are known as human made changes. ऐसे changes बच्चे जो हमारे efforts से हो रहे हैं, human efforts की वजह से हो रहे हैं, those changes are known as human made changes or artificial changes. For example, cooking of food, burning of candle, burning of wood, cutting of trees, जिसे हम deforestation कहते हैं, pollution, हम air की quality को pollute कर रहे हैं बच्चे, we are degrading the air quality. That is a change in the air quality. That is also because of our activities. Weaving of cloth, cloth को weave करना बच्चे, that is also a human made change बच्चे. Production of food grains, harvesting of food grains, growing of a orchard, एक बाग को उगाना, ये भी सब हमारे कंट्रोल में है, और उससे फ्रूट प्रोड्यूस को लेना, that is also in our control. So these are the changes. One is the natural changes, and other ones are the human made or the artificial changes. Now we will discuss the type of changes. There are two types of changes, or we can grade the changes into two various kinds on the basis of their reversibility or not. The two kind of changes on the basis of their reversibility are reversible changes and irreversible changes. As their name indicates, the kind of changes that can be reversed easily by change in certain conditions is known as or are known as reversible changes. The kind of changes बच्चे which can be easily revert back, which can be easily reversed by changes in the conditions, and we can get back the substance in its original form, that kind of changes are known as reversible changes बच्चे. ऐसे चेंज बच्चों जिसमें हम उन चीजों को दोबारा ऑब्टेन कर सकते हैं अपनी ओरिजिनल फॉर्म में, जिससे वो चेंज होकर एक नई चीज बनी थी, दैट काइंड ऑफ चेंजेस आर नोन एज रिवर्सिबल चेंजेस. हमें क्या करना पड़ता है इसके लिए? हमें फिजिकल कंडीशंस को चेंज करना पड़ता है. द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ द रिवर्सिबल चेंजेस आर स्ट्रेचिंग ऑफ अ रबर बैंड और अ स्प्रिंग. If you hold a spring with the weight, then you will observe that weight will stretch that spring. अगर तुम बच्चे स्प्रिंग के साथ एक वेट लटका दोगे तो देखेंगे हम कि वो स्प्रिंग उस वेट की वजह से नीचे चला जाएगा. बट व्हेन वी रिमूव दैट वेट, द स्प्रिंग अगेन रीगेन इट्स पोजीशन. दोबारा से वो अपनी पोजीशन को रीगेन कर लेगा. लाइकवाइज you must have seen the rubber bands, beta. If we stretch the rubber band changes its shape. But when we remove the force, then it will regain its shape again. So the stretching of rubber band is an example of reversible change. Likewise, बच्चे, ice melts to form water. How it melts? Due to temperature. When we place the ice at higher temperature, ice will melt and it will form water. But when we place that water into the freezer at lower temperatures, then water will again form the ice. So these are the reversible changes, bache. We can make ice from water as well as water from ice. Likewise, if we heat the water, then boiling occurs. By taking the heat from the atmosphere, by taking the heat from the surroundings, the water will get evaporated and form vapor. Water vapors. Gaseous form. So changing state occurs. And those vapors at lower temperatures condense. And this process is known as condensation. Condense means सिकुड़ जाना. Those vapors at lower temperatures will come closer to each other and form water droplets again. That's how the clouds are formed in the nature, by condensation of water vapors. So these are the changes which can be easily reversed. We can change ice into water as well as water into ice. We can change water into water vapors by heating, by boiling, as well as water vapors into water by condensation. So these are the changes which are referred as reversible changes. The changes that can be reversed easily by reversing the conditions, that is known as, or those are known as reversible changes. In this we can obtain a substance in its original form. Whereas the second kind of changes which are known as irreversible changes. The changes that cannot be reversed by changing the conditions, by changing the physical conditions of a substance, and we cannot get back that substance in its original form. That kind of changes are known as irreversible changes. So what are these, bache? The changes that cannot be reversed easily by changing the conditions of a substance, or to obtain a substance back in its original form. Those kind of changes are known as irreversible changes. There are a lot many irreversible changes are occurring around us. For example, rusting of iron. If iron gets rusted, then we cannot be able to get the original iron back from that. Anyhow, digestion of food. If we digest the food in our digestive system, then we cannot get back that complex food from that digested food. अगर हमने एक बार फूड पचा लिया, डाइजेस्ट कर लिया, तो हम उस डाइजेस्टेड फूड से दोबारा उस कॉम्प्लेक्स फूड को ऑब्टेन नहीं कर सकते. कुकिंग ऑफ फूड, हम कुकिंग ऑफ फूड से बच्चे दोबारा कुक्ड फूड से दोबारा रॉ फूड ऑब्टेन नहीं कर सकते. दीज आर irreversible changes that cannot be reversed. Formation of curd. You must have seen, बच्चे, that your mother placed lukewarm milk with some buttermilk or some curd. मदर क्या करते हैं बच्चे? ल्यूकवार्म मिल्क लेते हैं, मॉडरेट हॉट मिल्क, उसमें क्या डालते हैं? हल्की सी लस्सी, बटर मिल्क या फिर कर्ड ऐड करते हैं. एंड दैट्स हाउ ऑन द नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग दैट milk, that lukewarm milk will set up into curd, and we cannot get milk back from that curd. So formation of curd is also an example of irreversible change. Burning of paper, wood, or any fuel like petrol or diesel, that cannot be reversed. These are certain changes which are irreversible. Next, weathering of rocks. You cannot get rocks back from the soil, from the smaller particles. So weathering of rocks is an irreversible change. Grinding of food grains, that is wheat into wheat flour, cannot be reversed, beta. We cannot get back the wheat grains from that flour. आटे से दोबारा गेहूं का दाना नहीं बनाया जा सकता. So those are irreversible changes. With the passage of time, we get aged. Aging of living things, living human beings cannot be reversed back. So these are the kind of changes which are irreversible, that cannot be reversed by changing the conditions of a substance to its original form. Those are known as irreversible changes. Now we'll discuss a small chart in which we'll discuss whether those changes can be able to be reversed or not. By these examples, we'll easily elaborate whether these kind of changes or what are the kind of changes are reversible and irreversible. The first example given to us is raw egg to boiled egg. We purchase a raw egg from the market and make it boil to eat. Is it possible to convert that boiled egg into raw egg again? No. That boiled egg cannot be able to convert it into the raw egg again. So that change cannot be reversed again. So that is an irreversible change. So that change cannot be reversed. Next one, batter to idli. To prepare idli or cake, we have to make a batter. हमें एक आटा गूंदना पड़ता है बच्चे, from fine wheat flour, मैदे से. Can we convert that idli into batter again? No. हम उससे बच्चे दोबारा उस बैटर को, उस आटे, उस गूंदे हुए आटे को ऑब्टेन नहीं कर सकते. नेक्स्ट थिंग, wet cloths to dry cloths. Wet cloths है बच्चे, will place in sunlight, in the wind, blowing wind, and those wet cloths become dry enough. Can we don't make them wet again? क्या हम उन्हें सूखे हुए कपड़ों को दोबारा से गीला नहीं कर सकते? कर सकते. So that is a reversible change. So the answer would be yes. It can be reversed. How? By placing the dry cloths in the water again, or by pouring the water over dry cloths again. So these are reversible. Woolen yarn to knitting sweater. A yarn is knitted to form a sweater, bache. That sweater can easily be, separated to get the woolen yarn back. So that is a reversible change. हम उस woolen स्वेटर से बच्चे दोबारा से वो यान, वो धागा निकाल सकते हैं, but it's a very lengthy process, but it can be done, so we can deny it. Next, ripening of fruits. Ripening of fruit means the raw fruits, कच्चे फल, will be converted into sweetened fruits or the ripened fruits, पक गए. Can we get those raw fruits from those ripened fruit back? No. क्या हम उन पके हुए फलों से कच्चे फल दोबारा ऑब्टेन कर सकते हैं? No. So these are irreversible change. Grain to its flour. I explained to you. Wheat grains are crushed to make flour. आटा बनाया जाता है बच्चे से. We cannot get back those grains from the flour. So this change is also a irreversible change. It cannot be reversed. Cold milk to hot milk. गरम दूध ठंडा हो गया, क्या हम उसे दोबारा गरम नहीं कर सकते? कर सकते हैं. We can make it hot again by providing heat, बच्चे. So the answer would be yes. It is a reversible change. A straight string to a coiled string. हमारे पास एक सीधा धागा है, string है, हमने उसे coiled कर दिया, उसे लपेट दिया बेटा, क्या हम उसे सीधा नहीं कर सकते? Yes, we can. So this is also a reversible change. That change can also be reversed. Bud to a flower. What is a bud to a flower? That is a growth, बच्चे. A smaller bud will grows into a flower. Is it possible that flower can be converted into bud? No. This change is a irreversible change. A flower can produce a new bud, but a flower cannot be converted, cannot be changed into a bud. वो नया बड प्रोड्यूस कर पाएगा बच्चे आगे चल के, बट उससे दोबारा बड को बनाया नहीं जा सकता, उसे बड में नहीं कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. Milk to paneer. Can we get back the milk from paneer? No. That is also a irreversible change. Next, cow dung to biogas. We preserve the cow dung, we let it degrade for some time, and that cow dung will produce a gas which can be used as a fuel. That gas is known as biogas. Can we make cow dung from the biogas again? No. हम बच्चे बायोगैस से दोबारा cow dung बना नहीं सकते. So that change also is irreversible change. We cannot get back the cow dung from the biogas. Next is, I explained it to you, stretched rubber band to its original position, original size. एक खिंचा हुआ रबर बैंड है बच्चे, क्या आप उसे दोबारा रिवर्स कर सकते हैं? Yes, easily. How? बस उसे पर जो फोर्स लगाया था वो ना लगा. Just removing the force which we had exerted, which we applied, just remove that force. And by removing that force, that stretched rubber band will again regain its position, its size. The last one is melting of ice cream. Can the melted ice cream cannot be freezed? Yes. How? By lowering down the temperature. When we lower down the temperature of melted ice cream, then molten ice cream, that ice cream will be again converted into the solid one. So this change can also be reversed. So these are certain examples on which we discuss that whether these changes can be reversed, that is they are reversible, or they cannot be reversed, that is they are irreversible changes.